All right, Emmanuel Abajo-Yafi has joined me, and he's here with the business news. Good evening to you, Emmanuel.
Good evening, Izzy. How are you today?
I'm well. How about you?
I'm fine, thank you.
It's a Friday. I'm sure you're looking forward to the weekend.
I can't wait.
All right, take it away.
Thank you very much. And thank you once again for joining me on business. First Bank Financial Services has been adjudged Best Fund Manager of the Year. This was at the Ghana Investment Awards 2016 held last night as part of activities to climax the 2016 Capital Market Week celebrations, which began on Monday. Here's Ebenezer Sabote's report.
First Bank Financial Services picked up the ultimate Fund Manager of the Year award after winning in two other award categories, including Advertising Company of the Year. Speaking with Joy Business after the award ceremony, Head of Asset Management at First Bank Financial Services, Alex Owusu-Champong, explained how the company made it with only 2 branches nationwide.
Even though we have just 2 branches, we make sure that our clients can do their investment by going to any Zenith Bank branch across the country, any Stanbic Bank across the country, any ADB Bank across the country, any Bank of Africa branch across the country. So for First Bank, wherever you are in this country, you can do your investment at First Bank. We have a dedicated marketing and client service team. By a phone call, they can just come to your office to take the deposit and do the investment on your behalf.
Gold Coast was adjudged Investment Advisor of the Year and IFC Capital Emerging Money Market Company of the Year. Macaulay Capital also emerged the Best Growing Investment Bank and SDC Brokerage, winning the Equity Fund of the Year category. The Ghana Investment Awards 2016 also recognized some prominent personalities and institutions for their contributions towards growing Ghana's financial market. One of them is Benjamin Amoeje of First Bank Financial Services, who was adjudged the most promising investment professional of the year.
Decisions are based simply on research. What we find that most other advisors do is that they do a little bit of guesswork and they play around a little. We take our work very seriously. And myself, I am an example of that, or at least I can say I'm an example of that. We do a lot of research work. I am in the equity research department, and so especially for our investments in the stock market, we are very sure about giving advice because we know that these are the good companies and these are the bad companies. And whenever you are telling an investor to choose this or that, we are particularly sure of what's going to happen in the future. We are not perfect forecasters anyway, but we have done it for long enough to know that we are the best in the market, and that is what this award is recognizing today. Our decisions are based simply on research. What we find that most other advisors do is that they do a little bit of guesswork and they play around a little. We take our work very seriously, and at least I can say I'm an example of that. We do a lot of research work.
Former Managing Director of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Charles Asembiri, was also honored with the Lifetime Achievement Award.
Meanwhile, Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Dr. Edouan Anientwi, has disclosed the Commission is developing guidelines to promote investment clubs in the country. There have been some concerns about poor performance of the Ghana Stock Exchange in recent times, undermining companies' ability to raise significant capital. According to Dr. Edouan Anientwi, developing investment clubs will ultimately help improve the stock market performance and drive growth on the market. He was speaking at the opening of the National Investment Awards in Accra.
The SEC has also set up its own program of promoting investment clubs in the country. We will soon come out with guidelines to help in the promotion of investment clubs so that people would be free and will not feel threatened in any way when they are coming together to form such clubs. And we believe these clubs can be further developed to become mutual funds, unit trusts, whatever they have. So it's good that we have clubs like that, and the activities will help us to even structure what we want to see as investment clubs. To do better, we want to have an awards where people will be competing for and ensuring that they are doing their work well to be recognized for these awards. And if that happens, the whole market will be the beneficiary of the awards. People will now improve their performance in whatever they are doing to make sure that they get some awards. So let me again congratulate the Premier Networking Investment Club for this great work that they have been doing. We are happy that a club like ours is here.
In another development, the Deputy Managing Director of the Ghana Stock Exchange, Eko Afeji, has advised Ghanaian enterprises to move away from the culture of sole proprietorship and engage in partnerships. He said partnerships would promote the country's industrial sector and facilitate economic growth.
Mr. Afeji was speaking to journalists in Ho at the sidelines of an engagement with enterprise owners in the Volta region. He argued that the culture of sole proprietorship has contributed to the crawling growth of industries in the country. Mr. Afeji advised enterprises to embrace partnerships to be able to raise long-term capital to enable them expand and contribute meaningfully to the growth of the economy.
Indigenous companies doing public offers for many reasons. One of it is the ownership culture that we have. People want to own things 100% by themselves. So people believe in quantity, volume. They don't believe in the value. So somebody believes he must own 100% of a 100,000 company, whilst he can own 10% of a 1 billion company. Which one is better? The 10% is certainly higher, but then people still believe that I own 100% and it's okay. So that is a culture that we need to gradually break so that we can have people either go into partnerships or getting shareholders, investors to come together so that we're able to raise long-term capital.
He also explained the reason behind the establishment of the Ghana Alternative Exchange Market.
For the exchange, we realized that we need to cater for domestic companies. That's why we introduced what we call the Ghana Alternative Market, GAS. So we've lowered the requirements, we've reduced the approval times that you use in going through the process. We've introduced incentives. Then also we've lowered the costs. So we have what we call, for instance, a listing support fund where you can actually take money from that fund and pay for all the advisory costs involved in putting together your offer documents, etc.
Away from the capital markets, the local cement manufacturers are planning to head to court over the licensing of some companies like Korean cement company Fujian for the importation of cement. The local producers want government to withdraw the company's licenses, citing breach of the legislative instrument for regulating importation of cement into the country. Trade and Industry Minister Dr. Eko Spiogabra has justified government's decision, insisting all such licenses were issued before the new regulations came into force in August. But Chairman of the Cement Manufacturers Association of Ghana, Dr. Dawson Amwa, tells Joy Business they will seek legal redress.
The rules are just clear. The 16-page LI is written black and white. The steps to follow. First, establish the Cement Monitoring Committee. And the Cement Monitoring Committee should advise the minister on quotas, quantity that should be supplied. I am a member of the Monitoring Committee. We've never advised the minister in this regard. So it's mind-boggling that what really motivated this, that is the issue. That is why we have called you here, to help us to investigate what motivated this actually. We want to see the end of this. So like you rightly said, this is a legal paper, and we will not, and I repeat, hesitate at all to take it to the law of court for interpretation, because we need to defend it.
Meanwhile, the media relations manager of Dangote Cement Manufacturing Company, Etonam Komlabwami, has taken a swipe at GASEM for persistently venting out its frustrations on other cement companies in the country. Speaking to Joy Business, Kuku Aban recently during a visit to the company's premises in Nigeria, Etonam Bwami said GASEM is a completely foreign, non-African entity operating in Ghana and therefore fears competition posed by African indigenous cement companies. President of the Local Cement Manufacturers Association, Dr. Dawson Amwa, has recently criticized the Ministry of Trade and Industry for promoting unhealthy competition among indigenous and foreign operating companies in the country.
GASEM, as it stands now, is not a Ghanaian company. It is a foreign entity operating in Ghana. Indeed, if you want to talk about local companies, we would even want to associate Dangote to be much more of local content than even Gasem. Because as for Dangote, we operate in Africa, it's an African business, and Gasem is not. And so I'll be happy if they could come again and explain to us what they mean by local company. Because, I mean, we all operating in Ghana, it's a world of competition. And indeed, it does appear as if Gasem is just not prepared for competition. But you and I know that competition is good for every entity. Every serious business entity will be prepared for every form of competition.
And that's all in business on the news tonight. My name is Emmanuel Abuaji. For more business news updates, log on to myjoyonline.com/business. Have a great weekend. More stories coming up.